Pandemic has brought unprecedented changes to our usual ways of living. But the Department of Education remains unfazed by these challenges to fulfill the mission of Sulong Edukalidad, the rallying call for national effort to deliver quality basic education to all Filipinos, which involve aggressive reforms in the 4 key areas: the K-12 curriculum review and update, improving the learning environment, teachers upskilling and reskilling, and engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration to move forward together as we prepare the education system for the future. The call for Sulong Edukalidad will continue, and we have built the framework of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, or the BELCP, to put the needs of the learners at top priority. DepEd's BELCP is the major response and commitment to protect the health, safety, and well-being of learners, teachers, and personnel. The plan aims to provide opportunities to continue education even in these trying times with a BELCP in place, supported by an unprecedented number of diverse stakeholders from the academe, media, industry groups, NGOs, business and private individuals. Sulong Edukalidad will be able to sustain the aims in its reform for quality basic education. In our journey towards quality education, we have established the 4 pillars of aggressive reforms from the start, and we have been continuing to progress in these pillars. In improving the learning environment, we took action in the construction and rehabilitation of school buildings, ensured the availability of learning materials and equipment, and prioritized our last mile schools. The challenges of the pandemic also brought to light the urgent need to upgrade our ICT infrastructure to service the needs of education. In terms of the teachers upskilling and reskilling, we were able to establish more innovative professional standards for teachers and school heads. We have aligned the professional development of teachers with their career progression to track their development as part of the National Educators Academy of the Philippines transformation. With the launch of the Education Futures program, where we will be focusing on innovative actions and solutions to improve the state of our education, we are now more than ready to start a new journey and continue our fight for quality education for all Filipino learners. Finally, we've given high importance to the engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration. In support of this, we have convened the Philippine Forum for Accessible Quality Basic Education, or the Education Forum, which will leverage other partnerships for education quality and strengthen partnership with the Philippine Normal University as the country's national center for teacher education. The department has also been developing a professional development program for teachers and school leaders in order to equip them with the skills, materials, and data that will allow them to help their students prepare for PISA 2022. This intervention consists of the following components: online training for teachers and school leaders, development of learning materials and practice tests for students, deepening the analysis of the PISA 2018 results, and supporting school-level action research. Now that the year is about to end, our commitment to Sulong Edukalidad will continue and will be far from being gone. With a lot at stake, considering our new knowledge and experience from this year's challenges, we are equipped to face a new future. As we head on to the future where we will face many challenges and uncertainties, the department will always be the guardian of every Filipino learner's right to education.
I'm Ryan Alvin Torrejos, and I work as a teacher at German European School, Manila. Pursuing teaching as a profession was serendipity.
I was inspired by one of my teachers when I was in elementary.
There is this sense of fulfillment when I can influence
the positive changes I see in their lives.
I think the pandemic has affected my job as a teacher.
I have to make a lot of adjustments,
which we didn't expect.
And suddenly, we were pressured
to go out of your comfort zone, which is the four corners of the classroom, and do things you've never expected to have done in the past.
It is so hard to make a great connection to my students without being physically present beside them.
Hindi ka sigurado kung naintindihan ng mga bata ang kanilang mga lessons.
Where I'm from, not all are able to do virtual classes, and so this will really be difficult for us as teachers.
Hindi po ako maalam sa computer. Hindi po ako maalam sa ibang mga platforms.
So, kailangan naming matuto ng mga different apps at different softwares para magawa namin ito.
Marami po akong mga pinanood ng mga webinars. Isa na po dito yung webinar ng Canva. Ang Canva ang gumagabay sa akin upang lalo akong maging malikhain.
It is a tool which has all that I need, that helps me
Create beautiful designs in the shortest time possible.
there are lots of animated pictures, stickers, and it made my lesson presentation more exciting.
There's just limitless possibilities.
the templates. There's always something new to match what you need.
A fun way to create lessons.
Halos nilalaro ko lang siya. Ginagamit ko siya ng paiba-iba at kung ano po yung effective.
Kapag kakailanganin kong gumawa ng mga instructional materials,
Lesson plans, activities,
Mga presentations at short videos.
ay meron akong Canva na masasandalan.
It has changed the idea that you cannot teach properly if you're outside the classroom. You can, with the help of visually appealing designs, with the help of engaging designs.
Kung sakaling ma-invite ko na ang mga bata sa Canva class, i-encourage ko silang mag-explore.
I can do collaborative activities for my students using it.
The students really feel like kasama pa rin nila yung mga teachers nila, tuwang-tuwa yung mga bata.
Canva is absolutely making my job easier.
It has helped me now, and I think it will help me even more in the future.
Sa pagiging miyembro po ng Canva for Filipino Teachers ay ipinakilala ko sa aking mga kapwa-guro upang pasukin din nila ito.
I would still be using Canva even when students are allowed back into their physical classrooms. I would still be using Canva for years to come, and I would still be using it for the same things that I use it now.
Para ma-excite silang pumasok sa araw-araw.
They will love it.
I would definitely recommend Canva to all my co-teachers and all the other teachers I know.
It is truly a gift because hindi mo hiningi, binigay sa'yo.
Alam ko na ang Canva ay magiging malaking parte ng inyong buhay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Canva webinar series for teachers. Today is December 11, 2020, the second Friday of the current month. Thank you for choosing Canva Philippines and DepEd Philippines as your Friday. This is the fifth episode. Ibig sabihin ko ay panghuli sa webinar series natin. Ang ating webinar this afternoon, and gaya po nung unang araw ng Canva webinar series ay talagang may mga teachers po tayong nanonood Mas maaga po ngayon ulit, 5 p.m. until 6 or maybe past 6 p.m. And we hope you are enjoying your first 2 weeks of December. If I remember it right, we started day one of the webinar series. We had the chance to know more what is Canva for education, and then how are we going to utilize our debit email to enjoy the free service of Canva since they are our partners in enhancing our potentials for in designing our learning materials. Yung sumunod naman po na episode ay nabigyan tayo ng different tips how can we make our learning materials be more interactive and at the same time impressive in order for us to relay the content of our lessons sa ating mga learners. And this afternoon, there will be additional final Canva tips and tricks ang i-discuss po ng ating mga friends from Canva na makikilala po natin in the next few minutes. But before we start, let me just also thank and greet our teachers and the participants of this webinar who are watching the live stream right now sa ating DepEd Philippines. And of course, kasama rin po natin ang mga members ng Canva community or customer happiness team para po sumagot sa inyong mga katanungan during the lecture. Kahit huling episode na po ito ng webinar, we will make sure that this will be another productive episode. And it would be a productive Friday or Friday ang inyong mga hashtag ngayong araw. And without further ado, let's get to know our first speaker. Her name is Pansy Rosal. She is a content designer in the Elements team. She makes sure that Canva's library of elements keeps growing bigger and better. Siguro yung mga teachers natin na-observe that before they registered their debit emails, nakita niyo yung transformation ng mga designs. As mentioned in the previous episodes, they are very open to suggestions from teachers because doon sila nagbe-base ng mga designs. Pansy provides illustrations and art direction for different element collections, empowering our users to add more color and flair to their designs. Good afternoon, Ms. Pansy.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, welcome back. I think part ka ng RIO and DIO training.
Yep.
And this is your first time doing a lecture for teachers?
Not my first.
Not really.
But I think it's the first.
It's the first. Yeah. How does it feel to be part of the grand finale of the webinar series?
It's a huge honor to present for DepEd. Yeah.
All right. For sure, our teachers will learn a lot of tips and tricks from Miss Pansy. So you may now start your lecture.
All right. So let me just share my screen. Okay. So, hi everyone. First of all, thanks for tuning in to our talk about Canva tips and tricks. Very quickly, I'll just say hi again. My name is Pansy. I'm from the Elements team. And as mentioned already, I provide art direction for some of the element collections that you see in our object panel. So today we'll be covering keyboard shortcuts, how to find the right elements, how to find the right photos, and some helpful tips on how to use charts and other neat Canva apps. Now, if anyone wants to follow along, you can log into Canva, and from the front page, you can just select, create the design, and then you can get started. So let me get into keyboard shortcuts now, and I will start with text. So over here, okay, so starting with text, There are several ways to go about adding text to your design. The longer way would be to select text on the left sidebar, and then from there you can click and drag just about any text preview that you see over here. The quicker way to go about it is to select key, and that'll just pop up a random text box. And from here, you can customize the text. You can change its size, you can change its color, and you can also go ahead and change its font. Now, a very quick tip for those who are not familiar with fonts or anything related to that, you can actually search fonts by their defining characteristics. Like say, you're not familiar with fonts, but all you know is that you want a font that's bold and blocky. You can literally just search like blocky or block, and then all of the applicable fonts will show up over here. Same goes with handwriting. There are already some categories over here that you can search with alongside the actual font names themselves. So here, just like a very quick demo, you can just go ahead and select vintage modern, and that should load up. So yeah, now in terms of font pairings, which, if you're not familiar with fonts, you're likely not too familiar with like what fonts go well together. Same thing applies. You can you can have a look at some text presets over here in the text panel. And, it's generally easier to just see them in action. And in terms of font combinations, you don't really know what you want until you see them. So same with fonts, you can search them by characteristics, whether they're calligraphy, handwriting, and you can also search them by use case. So say you want to search for a list, a bunch of text layouts and combinations for lists will show up. Otherwise, you can look for quotes. You can look for, let's say, a menu for a restaurant, for example. So yeah, let's just put one in over here. And as you can see, all of the text is customizable, and it's really just a matter of you changing the content and making it your own. So that's it for text. Now let's go on to shapes. So for shapes, using the keys L, R, and C, you can create lines, rectangles, and circles respectively. Now, although it doesn't seem like much compared to like the huge library that you can use on the Elements tab, it's really basic foundational shapes like these that add structure to your designs. And a tip that I have is to, use these basic shapes to break up your design into sections. You don't have to always use fancy decorative elements to make your design look good. You can, the simpler it is, especially like if you're using something like a lesson plan, the better it would be. Now I'll go into copying and pasting styles. So with using this, it's a really good way to save time, especially if you are keen on keeping your design or your presentation consistent throughout. So let me just show you the long way of how to do it. So you select the element that would be the reference, and you go over here to the top right corner and select copy style. It's a little paint roller icon. And then you select the font or the element that you want to change. So as you can see, it did copy the style. And it doesn't just apply to text, it also applies to elements. Now, in cases like these where there are multiple elements, you can actually do that by dragging. So you select the reference, you select the paint roller, and you just kind of drag throughout the area where there are elements that you want to change, and then everything should apply. But the short way to do it, the shortcut for that is Command Option and C if you're on a Mac, and Control Alt C if you're on a Windows computer. And then to actually paste it, that would be Control Alt V. So it's just copy pasting, but with Control and Command. Now I'll be getting into duplicating objects. So let me demonstrate by first looking for something in the elements library, like for example, this illustration of a halo, and say, I like it so much, I want to put it all over my design. You can duplicate objects really easily by just holding Option or Alt, and then you just drag it. And you can do that as many times as you like until like your design is just covered in it. So it's really easy, and even if it's smaller or whatnot, it will still copy in the exact same size. Now, in terms of arranging objects, so with Canva, you can easily manipulate how the elements in the design are layered. So the long way to go about this is select the element that you want to move, you go to position, and then from there you have the option to either move it backwards or all the way to the back. That's if it's in the front, and then you can just select that. But the shorter, easier way to go about it is to hold Command. Well, select the element first, hold Command, and then the left bracket to bring it backwards, and then the right bracket to move it forwards. So you can just move it backwards or forwards wherever you prefer. So say you want it right here, and then from there you can just kind of like play around with like the elements. I find that alongside making with this, you can create more structured, organized designs, and just playing around with elements in general this way, it can really spruce things up, just make everything look much more dynamic. Now, in terms of grouping and locking elements, so grouping and locking elements, it really helps keep things organized and aligned, and you can do so by the long way would be selecting all of the elements that you want to group, and then the group button will just show up here on the top right. But you can just select Command or Control G, and that will group it. And if you want to ungroup it, you can simply select Ungroup, or you can select Shift Control G, and then that'll ungroup everything. One of the main benefits of grouping and grouping layers particularly is that you can resize them and duplicate them as a unit instead of having to do it for each individual element. And if you want to lock something, you can just select the lock button over here on the right corner, and then that way when something is locked, as you can expect, you can't do anything to it. You can't change the color, you can't resize it. A really good way to use this is like when you're using worksheets, especially if you're a teacher and you are handing out activities or homework, or even if you're a student and you're collaborating on a document with your classmates. What you can do is you can lock everything except for the elements that you just want them to change, like text box, fields where you can put in your name and the date, so that the people working on the design don't have to worry about moving anything accidentally, and they won't have that distraction anymore. Now, yeah, and that's it for my half of the presentation. I can move on to questions if to Sir Rego.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Pansy. I think we have questions sa live stream and the customer happiness team. They're answering the questions. But in case wala po munang questions sa live stream later, we can reserve the answers po before we end the episode. So I think we're good to proceed with our next speaker. All right. Kilalanin po muna natin ang ating next speaker. She is Katrina Escalona. Katrina is a photographer at Canva, currently leading its core photo production. As a visual creative, she understands and believes in the power of good design and its endless possibilities. Prior to her role at Canva, she taught primary school English alongside freelance photography for 3 years, so is passionate about utilizing good design to support education. So let's welcome Miss Katrina, Teacher Katrina. Hi.
Hi, Sirego. Thank you for that intro.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. I'm speaking from Palawan right now, and I see that we have teachers from Tarlac to Cotabato. So welcome, and thank you for tuning in.
All right. Yeah, it feels good to have. I think even the last episode we also have a teacher also, and here for the last episode, may teacher din pala tayong makakasama, si Miss Katrina. So we are excited to listen to your lecture. So you can start now, Miss Katrina. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So hi, teachers. First, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's amazing to see what you guys are doing just for your students. And as Sirego said, having been a teacher myself, I know that being in the classroom is challenging enough. So I really commend you guys for taking this extra step to be able to educate your students more. So props to you guys for that. And let's start. So for the second half of this presentation, I'll be talking about finding the right elements and photos and the other apps that we have on Canva for you guys. So first, elements. These are things that we utilize a lot to make design pretty, basically. So for example, this slide alone, you can see the elements we've used. We have some lights, flowers, and this sparkling diamond. So already you can see that we have two types of elements. We have those that are static, not moving. And now we have something really fun called stickers. So it moves around in the presentation or in the design like that. Oops. There you go. So I'm just going to exit the presentation view for a bit so we can play around. And I do encourage all of you to explore Canva alongside this webinar if you want, so the information gets digested better maybe. All right, so if you look here at the object panel to your left, you've got tabs for templates, uploads, and elements is what we're looking for. Here, the sub-tabs include photos, graphics, videos, and audio. So we're focusing on graphics, illustrations. All right, so when you search for Canva graphics, our search team has made it much easier now that we have filters, which we'll be playing with later. So let's say, for example, we're making a design for Christmas. Let's type in your keyword, very simple, Christmas, and all these things pop out. So let's try to put one in the design, just for fun. All right. Now, what if you're specifically looking for red graphics? Let's say you want to make your design predominantly red. So you add the plus sign here and the color that you want. So when I click enter, you'll notice that a lot of the ones that come out are predominantly red graphics. And then you can just take your pick from there. And here you can already see that some are moving and some are static. So let's say we want to include this cute red Christmas bell in the design. Let's put him in. There you go. So as I mentioned earlier, we have very helpful filters. Let's say you want a lot of moving elements in your design. You can choose animated, apply, and all that show up are stickers, animated graphics. Now, if you notice here, Canva we make a lot of effort to make our elements usable across every nation, countries across the world. So we have different languages. Of course, we're not leaving the Philippines behind. To the contrary, so don't be surprised if you can search for keywords like Pasko, and things will show up. So, for example, let's add this cute parol to the design, make it a little more Filipino. go. And now you can even search for phrases. So if you search for phrases, more than one word, you can put them inside quotation marks. So let's say we're searching for simbang gabi. See, things pop out. For simbang gabi, we have a church right here, which we're going to try to put into the design. By the way, Canva, the object panel tool, is very click-friendly, but it's also drag-friendly. So whatever you prefer, you can drag things and drop them into your design and click them. All right, so what pens you thought earlier, you can put elements of your design backward, forward. There you go. So I also want to explain that you can play with colors of the elements in your design. So let's say, for example, you want to change this color, the orange color, the moon, let's say you want to make it blue, and it changes that part of the element. Now if I want to change the color of the church and make it white, also possible. There we go. Now we have this useful button also at the bottom. Let's say, for example, you want to change this particular color to red. All right, say the church is red. And this one, you want to change it to blue because this was red earlier. You can tick this little box here so that all the red elements in the design turns blue as well. Now, let's say you really like this element, for example, and you want to see if there are any other elements like it. So all you have to click are the three dots here at the top right corner, and that will reveal more information about that particular element. So you have the title here, and you also have the artist, which you can click to see all the other elements designed by that same artist, which are usually similar to what you just used. So you can have a GPU. And because this is by Sketchify Philippines, you can expect that the other elements are also very Filipino inspired. So a lot of familiar things for us here. All right, now we're gonna move on to finding the right photos. So some people like to utilize photos over graphic illustrations in their design, which we can do in this tab right here. All right, so let's say we're continuing on with a Christmas themed design here. So let's say you like this. You like the aesthetic, but not exactly what the subject of the photo is. So you can take your chances, see if there's anything similar like it. Click the three buttons again, and then you can see the artist of this photo, the photographer. So let's view more from the collection. And similar aesthetics appear because it's by the same photographer. And here in the top right corner, you notice that it says brand and then this code type thing, and that is the artist's brand. So now that you know the artist's brand, you might want to insert a word. Let's say, because you know it's a Christmas photo, all you have to do here is add Christmas, and all her Christmas photos appear. See a lot of the same aesthetic from the photo you liked earlier, so a bigger variety. And then you can just take your pick and add it to your design. Now, cutouts. What are cutouts? This is designer lingo for things that don't have backgrounds. So let's say you want the background to be seen. Okay, we're gonna add this. And say you want to put a Christmas tree in front of this photo. So if we search Christmas tree, because it's a phrase, we're putting the quotation marks. Search for it. Now you see a lot of the photos that appear have backgrounds. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the plus sign again, cut out, and true. So see all the photos that appear now are backgrounds for you. You can take your pick. Let's say you want to add this glittery one to the design. Positionings. There you go. So feel free to play around with this after the webinar. It really helps a lot to retain all the information that we've talked about. So just as a quick fun recap. All right. So we're going to play around with the different elements. So here we have photo of what you had for lunch today. Okay, what did I have for lunch today? Coffee. That's not very healthy, but I know the teachers can relate. So we're going to put a photo of coffee here. And this is an exercise that I encourage you to practice as well, just to familiarize yourselves with the object panel. So now an illustration of an item near you in green. So I have my phone next to me. We're going to go to Elements and Graphics. And we're going to put phone. And then add in the color, green. There you go. Stickers. Oh no, sorry. This one is, we're looking for a static picture. We have animated next. Let's apply this. All right, there we go. We also have static elements for phone. Now we have a sticker of your favorite animal. I have dogs. Put that in. Remember, we've got the filter panel here. And just choose animated. And your options appear. Okay, so we're just going to choose a cute one right here. Add it to the slide. Now, if for some reason you can't find a photo that fits exactly what you're looking for on Canva, you can add your photos. So you'll find them here in Uploads. You can choose a photo from your computer and drag it here, or drag it directly to the design, and it gets uploaded automatically. There you go. All right. So this fun little exercise will really help you guys a lot familiarize yourselves with the object panel. And we've got a few slides left. Okay, now we're going to explore the Charts tab. I have it here at the bottom, but if for some reason you can't find it on the Objects panel, you just click More, and all the available apps appear here. So we're going to go to Charts. Let's choose a pie chart. For example, we're making a chart for everyone's contribution to the Christmas party, but they're bringing us food because we want to see kung sobra na ba ang magdadala ng spaghetti. All right, let's say spaghetti. How many students are bringing spaghetti? 3 students, all right. Let's say someone's bringing pandan. Another 4 students bringing that dessert. So you can see automatically it's adjusting here on your design. Let's say someone is bringing barbecue. There is enough. So you see the small section here is devoted to that. Let's say someone's bringing pancit. 3 students are bringing pancit. And then of course, rice. Let's say 10 students are bringing rice. So now, you can see that sobra na yung magdadala ng rice. Maybe you should adjust what the students are bringing to the Christmas party. So that's how you use our different charts. Now we have Canva apps, another exciting new addition to the object panel. So we have emojis. So if you have your favorite emoji, you can now add them to your designs. So we can search for Christmas. There you go. Add a Christmas tree to your design. And GIFs, if you like playing around with GIFs, that's also available on Canva. Let's see. This right here are my favorite GIFs, dancing babies. So we're gonna add this to the slide. There. So your designs are so very personalizable now in Canva with all the features we have available. And finally, we also can use Google apps, Google Links on Canvas designs. So let's say, for example, you use forms for short quizzes, exams, so just simply asking your students to review or review a certain topic. So you just copy the text from the, copy the link from the link bar. And then when you get to Canva, you paste it, Command V on my keyboard. And when you paste it, it automatically pastes the Google form. And it's also interactable. So you can click next, for example, and the next page comes up. So there you go. I'd like to pass the floor back to Sir. Let's stop sharing. Sorry. Sir Rego, all yours.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Katrina. I am checking actually the comments sa live stream natin. It seems like wala gaanong questions. I believe since the customer happiness team is very active in answering the questions online, kaya sila siguro walang gaanong questions. But I'd like to share some comments here. Sabi ni, I'm not sure if this is the real name, pero sabi ng user na si Sam Ax, thank you Canva for being our partner in producing beautiful and smart design. And we also have participants from General Santos, Cotabato City, Cabacan North District, Bacolod City, General Santos City, Latayan District, Davao City, and a lot more. We also have some participants from Camarines Sur, Sultan Kudarat. I hope everyone is doing well sa Camarines Sur, no, sa Region 5 and also sa Region 2. What I'd like to know na lang po, Miss Fancy, what I'd like to know na lang siguro is kung ano yung mga questions kaya so far na nakukuha nyo online and ano yung mga development. Like for example, because I know that if I'm not mistaken, was that Sir Gerald or yung isa nun na yung tungkol sa mathematical equation, ganyan, and even Sir Shardy also shared last time that the suggestions of the teachers are very important or very significant in creating their designs. So far, ano po yung mga sinishare ng mga teachers sa Canva community?
I'm not too sure, though. I would recommend that they maybe check out the Canva for Filipino Teachers Facebook group, and then they can have like some discussion with other teachers and other Canva nuts. So, yeah.
All right. I'd like to get message from Miss Katrina because since she is a teacher, she's a teacher at Nagturo siya for 3 years, grade 3, no. Any tip or from your personal experience when you were in the field and right now you are a designer for Canva, what can you share sa mga teachers aside dun sa mga sa lecture kanina po?
Perhaps a piece of advice I'd like to give teachers is to remember that students are very visual, especially this generation now. They respond very well to visual cues, things that are engaging in a visual manner, aesthetically pleasing, which is why Canva is such a perfect tool for teachers to use now, like while they're teaching online. So use all these visual elements that we have. We know as teachers we use words a lot and we write on the blackboard, for example. But now that we have this platform available, let's really use it to the best of its abilities and make things more engaging for students. So let's challenge ourselves to engage with them in a way that they respond positively to us in the lesson.
All right. I love that statement in the let's challenge ourselves. Diba kasi sinasabi nga kasi nila, wala naman kasi talagang, wala naman ng kailangang hanapin pa siguro when it comes to content pagdating sa mga lessons, no? But what we need to do is to challenge the process and yung challenge the process, we have to challenge the process in relaying the lesson, and in that way we can create more creative learning materials para mas ma-digest or mas maging interesting para sa mga bata yung lesson. All right.
Definitely. Thank you, Rego.
Thank you, Miss Katrina. I'd also like to remind our participants right now because siguro may mga iba pa no na hindi aware how to enjoy the Canva for education. Even before even before we started the webinar, may Canva for education na, and there are questions before how will they enjoy. So ang mangyayari lang po is you have to register your dapat email because that is a pre-approved email. You can also, maybe we can ask Sir Shardy, or let's try Miss Mitch Karagayan. She's part of the customer happiness team. At least she attended our last episode, no? Kasi yung mga previous episodes talagang sila Miss Mika and Miss Claire. But let's try to get a message from Miss Mitch. How do our teachers enjoy Canva for education?
Hi everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, yung audio ko. Okay. Hello everyone. I'm just so happy na to engage with the teachers every webinar kasi I can hear from them yung Canva love, and then yung questions talaga nila is really geared towards creating an environment where they can teach their students virtually na mas engaging, na mas clear yung presentations nila. So I'm really, really happy to be able to engage with the teachers and then answer their questions. Ayun. So, join kayo sa aming Facebook community din, which is the Canva for Filipino Teachers. So, nandun din kami to assist you with your questions pa. So, yun. Thank you.
All right, yeah. I know that Customer Happiness Team is very active sa social media pages, and we've been asking our teachers to post online yung kanilang mga na-design. Kumusta po, Miss Mitch, or sino bang pwedeng sumagot ito? Kumusta yung mga sinishare pa ng mga teachers natin na design nila mula ng day 1 hanggang ngayong day 5 ng ating webinar? Si Sir Shardy or si Miss Mitch siguro ang sasagot? Miss Mitch?
Mitch can answer this one. She's the one handling our community Facebook page.
Yeah, so yung mga na-receive namin mga designs shared by the teachers, sobrang gumagaling na sila. So minsan parang designer level na. Parang ganun. So sobrang happy kami because I think may impact talaga yung webinars that DepEd and then Canva are kumbaga providing to the teachers. So yun. So there are a lot of improvements, more engaging presentations, and then teachers are also using our talking presentation feature then so they can take a video of themselves then. So yun. So I think mas nagiging savvy na rin sila sa using our features.
All right. Surely the webinar series really made our teachers really enhance the potentials of our teachers. Kasi yun naman talaga, like lang kong sinasabi in every episode, that the goal of Canva is to ensure or to make everyone rather to be a graphic designer, because innate yung art sa atin. And we just need to enhance them, especially for teachers now na para mas effective yung pagtuturo natin because of the setup due to pandemic. Then we have to enhance our designs or our talents in relaying lessons or our messages to our learners. Parang wala na po akong mabasa na ibang mga questions sa ating live stream, but I guess our other teachers are busy also about reports pa, no? Because this is the last week, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last week of the first quarter, and they're also preparing for the INSET training. But teachers can rewatch the episodes of our webinar by visiting our Facebook page. We still have 14 minutes before we end the episode. Maybe last words from each member of the Canva team. Let's start with Miss Fancy.
So I guess for me, I'd like to say thanks to all the teachers for doing amazing work, and it's our hope that we can really help you guys out, make things easier. We know it's really tough times for everyone, but we're gonna pull through. So yeah.
All right, thank you. yung encouraging words talaga na yun, no? Yun yung, we know that teachers are very, they're strong-willed, um, yung, yung pagiging bayani talaga ng mga teachers natin is andyan talaga, but of course, they also need to hear those words coming from a third party because iba talaga yung pinagdadaanan ng bawat isa ngayon. Now, let's listen to Miss Katrina.
Hi, yes, as I said earlier, I really just want to reiterate like my personal thanks to the teachers, especially those who are joining us here today. It's proof of your dedication to your vocation. It's not just a career anymore, teaching, it's vocation and the passion and the work that you put into it. So thank you for serving the students of our country. And I really hope we can use Canva as a tool to really do your best and work as hard as you'd like to and as hard as you can for our students. And we're just here to support you guys with what you need. And our lines are open to any suggestions that you have to improve the platform for the work that you do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Miss Katrina. Let's listen to Sir Shardy and then later on from Miss Mika. Sir Shardy.
Okay, sige. I'll go last na lang. Unahin na natin si Miss Mitch saka si Mika.
Alright, okay. Miss Mitch?
Sobrang saludo kami sa mga teachers kasi nakikita namin talaga yung effort niyo to give a better education sa mga students and sa mga pupils niyo. So, keep on designing lang and we're just here behind your back. So, we got you guys. So, yun lang. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's hear from Miss Mika. I know she has a lot of things to say, just like
no, maybe not this time.
All right.
Okay.
But this is the last episode na po ng ating webinar. And
yes.
We'll look forward, no? Baka may mga susunod in the future. Your message po for our teachers.
Yes. To our Filipino teachers, Canva education won't be where it is today if it weren't for you, for your support, and also like for the work that you do. This may be the last for 2020, but we are looking forward to more, to working with our teachers more and to be involved in the education sector here in the Philippines with more creativity in store, with with as much passion or even much more for 2021. So this may be the last for 2020, but definitely we will all see you for 2021 and we will work harder, be the service of our Filipino teachers. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Miss Mika. Let's listen to Sir Shardy.
Okay, thank you, Sir Rego. Una sa lahat po, maraming salamat sa mga guro na naging kasama ng aming journey dito sa Canva for Education, particularly here in the Philippines. Naalala ko, nagsimula kaming i-launch ang Canva for Education nitong May 2020 lang. And our first public webinar was with DepEd Tech Unit. It was such a pivotal moment for us wherein nung nilaunch namin si Canva for Education dito sa Philippines, sobrang na-overwhelm kami sa support ng mga Filipino teachers natin at sobrang natuwa kami kasi even before pala we launched Canva for Education, meron na pala tayong mga guro o mga teachers na gumagamit na talaga ng Canva. So parang ang nangyari ngayon nung nalalaman nila that we are giving a gift to all K-12 teachers, which is Canva for Education, mas na-enhance pa yung pagmamahal nila kay Canva. Kaya mas dumami ngayon yung hashtag Canva Love natin, mas dumami na din yung hashtag Salamat Canva. Kasi ang nangyayari, naging kaakibat na ng mga guro natin si Canva. Hindi lang sa paggamit nila sa mga personal things that they really want to use it, but also dun sa mismong profession or yung passion nila, which is teaching. So yun po, unang-una maraming salamat kasi simula nung May 2020 hanggang ngayon, December 2020, ang dami kong nakikita sa comment section ng mga guro na laging nakaantabay sa webinars natin with DepEd, with different school organizations, and with different NFP partners. And also, we are looking forward for more webinars for the coming year, which is 2021, not just with DepEd, with also different partners. So kung meron po kayong suggestions, or like meron po kayong school or district or regional offices na gusto nyong itap si Canva for Education, feel free to join our Canva for Filipino Teachers Facebook page. Mag-message lang po kayo doon, then there will be someone from our community team, yung team nila Mitch, na sasagot po at i-direct kayo sa tamang person para makapag-schedule tayo or masimulan natin yung pag-uusap kung paano natin ma-further strengthen or paano tayo makakagawa ng webinar series para sa school, sa region, or dun sa organization nyo. Muli po, maraming salamat sa inyo. And hindi po namin ma-achieve na ma-launch successfully si Canva for Education dito sa Philippines kung wala po yung support ng mga guro, ng aming mga partners like DepEd, and pati na rin po yung mga students, tsaka pati po yung mga magulang na nagtuturo sa mga anak nila ngayon dahil nga nasa bahay na lang yung pagtuturo, yung mga magulang po na nagsisikap na tulungan yung mga anak nila na explore pa si Canva. So wag po kayong maglala kasi by next year, mas marami pa po kaming webinars na i-conduct para mas makapag-focus po tayo at tulungan natin yung mga estudyante, saka yung mga guro at yung mga magulang na ma-explore pa ang Canva for Education.
Alright. Thank you so much, Sir Shardy. Yung sinabi mo that you just launched Canva for Education last May, and it was a turning point for Canva Philippines. I must say that 2020 is indeed a very historical year for every Filipino, especially for the education sector. Who would have thought that we are successful in implementing the modular distance learning? We were able to continue education despite what we are going through, and this pandemic has brought partnership with a lot of different sectors who are also advocate of education, and one of them is Canva. And we really thank you for the partnership and for your service for our Filipino teachers also. Siguro last shout out na lang tayo sa ating mga participants. Sabi ni Ma'am Emily Sitio Katubig, sabi niya watching from Midsayap, Dilangalen National High School in South Cotabato. Pumapalakpak naman si Ma'am Marilyn sa Palaran. Thank you so much, Ma'am Emily Danao Nanyong. She says it was a very fruitful webinar, sabi niya. And we also have, additional message from Ma'am Emily. Sabi niya, thank you for your concerns for us teachers. And greetings also going out to Ma'am Joyce Faith Ana of Marbel 3 Elementary School in Coronadal Division. And of course, hello din po sa ating mga teachers sa Lanao del Sur, Tondo, Cabuyao. Sige po, para wala pa akong ma-miss, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Maraming salamat po for joining our webinar series for teachers. Once again, I want to thank our friends from Canva Philippines. I'm sorry if I cannot memorize all of the names, lahat ng mga speakers natin. Our customer happiness teams are Shardy, Miss Mika, Miss Mitch, Miss Claire, and our speakers for today, Miss Pansy, Miss Katrina, our previous lecturers, Sir Jeriel, Sir Maidas, Shishi, sino pa ba? Nakalimutan ko na po yung iba. I'll just text you na lang sa Zoom and sa Viber group. And of course, ang makasama po natin sa DepEd Public Affairs Service, ang in charge po sa ating live, si Kuya Manny. From our creative media unit also, we have Sir Johnson Cabrera and then Lindon. And we also have Zoe Gulion. Siya rin po yung kasama natin behind the scenes for this webinar series. So, muli po, ako si Rigo Tumaneng ng DepEd Public Affairs Service. Magandang hapon po and maligayang Pasko sa inyong lahat.